My team was really frightened when they told me I had 5 minutes to explain anything, so I'll try to stay within those bounds. I also feel like an imposter in this room because I'm not a telecom person. I'm a retail and CPG person who basically brings technology to consumers. And what mobeam does can be summed up in one very simple sentence. We solve for the failure of mobile devices at point of sale. Now, we've heard almost everybody in this room who's spoken today talk about content all coming down to mobile device. And I was going to ask you to raise your hand, but you're probably tired of that today. The simple fact is that one of the first questions I would ask you if you've done it anyway. Everybody has a phone in this room. And every one of you has used that device to bring mobile digital content to your device. We all want it on the phone. Livingston made that point very clearly. Microsoft, every company in the world today is looking to bring content that we can use. In fact, the first presenter up here talked about the value of bringing a consumer an offer. The challenge that we have, and my lovely assistant here on the right, Dave Beebe, is going to talk about this, because if you've taken your device to the store, a typical store, any store that has a laser scanner, which there are about 200 million of those installed globally, and you put your device in front of that scanner, something happens. Actually, nothing happens. The problem is that the devices can't be read from the screen. And we can challenge that, but you can take other people's word for it as well. You can move through the slides if you want to, Dave, but I typically don't use them. So there are a lot of applications out there, hundreds of applications that are presenting digital content to a mobile device for the purposes of redeeming, or if you will, spend that content at point of sale today. And as David showed you, typical handheld scanner, no trickery. You can come back to the room, we'll show it to you one-on-one. It doesn't scan. And there's good technical reasons that happens. And what we've done at mobeam, and there are many patents behind this, my co-founder, you guys shall in the back of the room, is to take control of the LED that's resident on almost every device today, charge indicator, message indicator, and we flash that LED in such a way that the scanner sees it as a barcode. So every time you walk into a point of sale system, you put your phone in front of that device, you push the button, and it works. I did it in 3 minutes because I want to take some questions. And I want Dave to show you that as he tries to scan off the screen, and again, some of the best applications in the world that we think of. CardStar, fantastic, beautiful presentation on multiple devices and phones. And you'll see, takes me a second to get mine up. Nice picture of my Best Buy frequent shopper card. High definition, high resolution. The problem is it can't be read. If you look at, and we have it on multiple handsets, if you look at the little flashing light on the handset device right there, you'll see an LED, and Dave will point the scanner at that, and it works every time. We actually don't have all of your phones, so we can't really provision yours, but we do have some handheld devices in the back of the room. You can all have one. It's called the Numi Key. It's available at Amazon.com today as a consumer device that does exactly the same thing. And if it works on this very simple little device, it'll work on every phone that's being manufactured today that has an LED. So the simple reality is that light is transmitting a first generation barcode to the hundreds of millions of scanners that exist in point of sale today. Questions?
Great. So looks good, but I'll kick it off with I explored a plane yesterday. I didn't put my phone on the scanner and it read it. So clearly some scanners work. So what's the distinction?
It reads it a lot. In fact, that's a 2D or an optical scanner that's actually taking a picture of that image on the screen, reconciling that against a database. And we see that emerging. It's less than 0.1% today in terms of retail penetration. We will support that if you think about what we do, we're a presentation layer. And the same thing that has to happen in the background of reconciling a number against a database, we can do the same thing. So yes, 2D barcode, Target, Starbucks, both of them starting to refresh. And the reason that I'm here as a retail representative is because think about the time it takes to replace or refit that technology. And I hope someone's going to ask the question about NFC, but in case you don't, I'll bring it up. Every handset that we see should and perhaps will have NFC capabilities. Same issue. The time it will take for the retail environment to evolve is time that we shouldn't waste and leverage in terms of digital value.
So is that a software solution or is there any hardware?
Software solution. The bill of materials is actually very simple. Less than 200K of code. We access the controller that's telling that light to turn on for a message indicator, or turn on to green because it's charged, or red because it needs to be charged so it's resident on the device.
Who is your customer?
Our customer, we have multiple models for that, would be a handset maker that would enable the device to be controlled, and then the apps developers, if you will, who want their application to work at point of sale. That's essentially our primary customer. On the back end, of course, there's insights about data, the ability to mine what's happening after you've used the device as a secondary opportunity.
Very good.